Name of the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and asks, what is Treasury's most recent forecast for unemployment and when did he receive this forecast?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, the Treasury's latest full set of economic forecasts were those presented in the Economic and Fiscal forecast of December 2008. The central forecast showed a peak in the unemployment rate of 6.5% midway through 2010.
The Honourable David Parker.
Has the Minister seen criticisms from both business and union leaders saying that the Minister should have been seeking more frequent forecasts on unemployment, and how can he make the best decisions without this crucial information in these extraordinary times?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, Treasury does its forecasts and it's beginning another forecast cycle, and I would expect that I will find on my desk some preliminary estimates from that forecast cycle. But I think it's important to understand here there's a difference, and the member perhaps doesn't know this, there's a difference between forecasts and updates. Forecasts are when Treasury goes through its cycle to make its own judgments about where unemployment will get to. Every day, and probably every day and certainly every couple of days, information comes across my desk which tells us what is actually happening to unemployment, and we monitor that closely.
Amy Adams.
Mr Speaker, to the Minister, what updates on developments in the domestic and global economy does the Minister of Finance receive from Treasury?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, well, the updates that I receive are openly shared with everybody. In fact, the opposition can go to the Treasury website and they will see regular and full monthly updates on the current situation of the New Zealand economy, including what's going on with unemployment. I also receive regular briefings on developments worldwide, as well as ad hoc briefings from the Reserve Bank and any number of other organisations who send me their information.
The Honourable David Parker.
Why has the Minister been so cavalier about New Zealand unemployment forecasts when he knows that rising unemployment will cause misery to thousands of New Zealand families?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, that's typical of the nonsense we expect from the Labor Party, who think that getting forecasts is fixing the problem. Well, it isn't. We all know, in case the member doesn't know, every unemployment forecast shows unemployment rising to over 7%, rising to around 7% in the next 18 months to 2 years, and we are spending a lot more time on the measures that we need to take to protect existing jobs and replace those jobs that are lost. It is typical of Labor that they, I think, spent more time ordering more forecasts so they could announce it than actually doing anything.
The Honourable David Parker.
How does the Minister reconcile his position at FEC that he's not preoccupied with all the details and has not been getting more regular Treasury forecasts on unemployment with his Prime Minister's statement that the government constantly gets updated advice and, quote, that is what you would expect a prudent and conservative government to do?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, well, I reconcile them by exactly the explanation I just gave to the Minister. Doing a full round of economic forecasts is an expensive and time-consuming activity. So Treasury did one in December. They're starting on one now. For the budget. That's the forecasting activity. Alongside that, we receive regular updates on all measures of unemployment, day by day and week by week. I'd have to say that the trend is obvious, the need for action is obvious, and whether a forecast changes by 0.2% is of less interest than the actions needed to be taken to protect jobs and get on with creating new jobs.
The Honourable David Parker.
Do the answers the Minister gave to these questions apply the same logic he uses to assert that he inherited a poor position from the last government, yet went ahead with higher total tax cuts, weighted to those already better off? And does he think this is why commentators like Fran O'Sullivan are already questioning his judgment?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker. If the member is asserting that the new National Government took over economy in fine shape, he's wrong. We took over with a record balance of payments deficit, record household debt and growing government deficits. And it's going to be a big challenge to turn around those problems. Since then, the global financial crisis is starting to have an impact on the economy, and that doubles the urgency with which the government needs to move, and that is why we don't sit around ordering more forecasts for what we know is already a difficult situation.
Question.